So, I've been meaning to do this for a while, and it's just something that's just been on my mind for, oh, I don't, well, for a long ass time. But just a lot of it has been just thoughts about confidence and how big of an issue it is. Not just to me, because it's something that I've been struggling with for my entire life. I feel like that's something that everybody kind of struggles with. It's like a major roadblock and struggle for like many people. I've written down a bunch of lists or a bunch of stuff, but I'm just kind of trying to go over and everything like that. But purpose of this video, and I've been wanting to do it for ages, and part of it is like in related to confidence. It's just a matter of kind of putting yourself out there. I've been finding every single sort of excuse to not make time for this. So beforehand, I just want to at least let you know that this is gonna be kind of uncut, unedited, plain, straightforward, and everything, as I don't give myself an excuse to put it off, saying it takes too much time to edit, it's gonna take too much time out of my day or anything like that, because it really won't. So be prepared for a long rant, or, well, a long discussion. It's not a rant. I'm not angry about anything, but yeah, so I'm just trying to put out kind of everything and how I feel about just confidence in general. Not easy to come by. Once again, it's something that pretty much everybody struggles with. People face it different. But it makes it difficult to kind of pull the trigger on big decisions. I actually had this conversation with my old roommate slash landlady a little while ago. But she kind of told me some advice. She's like 60 something, so she's been through a lot, and she's gone through plenty. And one thing that she kind of mentioned that kind of struck me was that people are generally afraid of making the wrong choice, which is obviously true. Like, nobody wants to make the wrong choice. Nobody wants to be doing the wrong things and everything like that. Everybody has doubts and fears, and some people are better at not dwelling at what ifs. I'm getting ahead of myself, but the thing is, there's no such thing as like a wrong choice. It will feel like it for sure. But there's not such thing as wrong choice, because unless you make it a wrong choice, and the thing is, you either learn by it, and that's kind of the main point. Failure is something we learn by. And just one quote that so you know how God of War is coming out tomorrow, something, today, tonight, whatever. But I actually saw like a little interview where Barlog kind of misquoted a little quote, but it was good. It's actually a quote by Susie Kasim in the book Rise Up and Salute the Sun, I guess. But what it is just doubt kills more dreams than fear, or it was supposed to be failure ever will. And that just kind of plays a big role on that. Like, you can't succeed without taking risk, and like, you can't just dream about something without being willing to get through failure. And then, yeah, I mean, like, because without risk, there's little reward, and failure is a viable option. Without it, we can't learn. And everyone's failed at some point. Like, nobody can say they've gone through their entire life without ever meeting like failure. Literally, the first thing we do kind of growing up, first thing we're exposed to is the word no. And what do we do when we're a baby? We don't even know what words are. We throw tantrums, all this kind of stuff. We don't like it. Nobody likes being told no. Nobody likes being not able to get what they want. And it's not a great feeling. So there's lots of ways to handle kind of failure. And well, there's a couple ways, and kind of the main thing that I was like thinking about is there's really like a negative way, and then a positive way. And the negative way is pretty much just kind of sheltering yourself a little bit, and it's generally kind of avoiding situations involving risk and like possible failure because you don't like that feeling. And the issue with that is you don't give yourself an opportunity to grow, and you kind of shelter and inhibit yourself. And that's something that I've kind of been guilty of a lot recently. And like that's kind of part of the reason this has been on my mind for a while is I'm actually currently unemployed. I've been doing little odd jobs here and there, but I'm looking into kind of like creative aspects like photography, videography, and that kind of stuff. And realistically, anything creative requires you to put yourself out there. And from a lot of people that I talk to, it's just that's the biggest thing that like people struggle with, like just showing their stuff. And that's what I'm guilty of right now. There's things that I need to update, things that I need to do. I have my portfolio. There's pieces that I have that I've thought aren't necessarily good enough, but nothing's ever perfect. I know people strive to aim for like perfection, and that's not realistic. Because no matter what, you're never going to be happy with what you create yourself, like 100%. There's always some little thing here and there that could have been done a little differently, a little better, a little whatever. But that shouldn't prevent you from putting it out there. Because sure, yeah, failure sucks, but the feeling of reward is greater. So you put yourself out there, you get 50, 100,000 no's, and it sucks. But you hit that one yes, and that like is hitting the gold mine. That is kind of what I'm talking about. Well, I haven't even talked about it, but that's kind of the idea that is kind of the positive aspect in terms of dealing with like failure. The positive way to kind of deal with it is just pushing yourself to avoid failure, but while taking risks, because taking the risks allows you to get that reward. And just putting yourself in those situations promotes growth. And yeah, and I've just blasted through this. I thought this was gonna take like 20 minutes. Oh, it's actually been like 10. But yeah, so this is mainly just kind of throwing ideas out there and everything like that. But it's easy to make excuses. Like it really is. There's so many things. If you don't think your drawing is good enough, you don't think your content is good enough, you don't think like a lot of it, like everybody's their own worst critic, and without putting it out there, you'll never know if people like appreciate or like your stuff. So yeah, anyways, that's a whole little thing, I guess. I'm gonna breeze through that, but yeah, I guess I plan on trying to do more of these. We will see. I gotta find more little things, but realistically, I just want to push myself to put these out there. And obviously, I push you, anybody watching or anything like that, to do the same. And obviously, like and subscribe, because just kidding, doesn't matter. But one thing that I would say, if you would like, or I would recommend just like leaving a comment just about something that you maybe struggle with in terms of being confident. I know. And I'll just do my best to kind of respond to everything like that. And it helps to just kind of see what other people struggle with, because it kind of grounds you. And yeah, so this has been attempt number 1 of hopefully many. We will see. And